heal the world, make this a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying, but if you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. Hello, everybody. I'm Lady Cheryl, and I want to welcome you to my food wars. In today's episode, I'm going to share with you the changes I made to the greenhouse. It was just getting too hot in there. And I'm also going to share with you the progress of some of the emergency garden that's growing in the greenhouse. I'm going to let you see how my pepper plants are doing since they were severely infested with insects. And I'm going to show you the slug traps, the results that I put in the strawberry boxes. And I'm going to show you a technique of stringing up your tomato plants to keep them from leaning and bending and breaking branches off. Okay, let's get started. It's early Friday morning. As you can see, the sun is just coming up. And this is the greenhouse before I decided that I was going to let it get cooler in there because I got sick yesterday. It was just too hot. So this is what I did. Voila, I removed a lot of the cover. Now, if you can look down at the bottom, you see I kept it on the sides because all of those bricks are just too heavy for me to pick up. And I'm going to wait until I can get some help, when we get the all clear. We'll never get the all clear because of the virus, but when I can get my son or my landscaper to help me remove the bottom of the cover and lift all of those heavy concrete bricks. Here I'm showing you that I'm going to let my green beans in the basket just grow up on the pole, the foundation frame of the greenhouse. And here I'm sharing with you how the tomatoes are looking. And I've decided that I'm going to not cut them off like I did last year. I'll show you the technique I'm going to use. And these are the marigolds that I planted a few days ago. That's how the California black-eyed peas are doing. And as you can see, all of the greens that I'm growing for my emergency garden to donate the food to my family, friends, and senior citizens and neighbors, it's all doing well. All of the mustard greens and lettuce and kale that was looking a little droopy when I first transplanted them, they're all perking up and they just look great. So don't be afraid to try this technique. Now I'm taking you over to where my peppers are. And I'm going to plant some marigolds right there in that cement block. But this is what I named Pepper Place. And I was going to experiment with these peppers and just play with them, actually, to see if I can grow them all year long. But after I realized how expensive food was in a grocery store, I decided to just go ahead on and grow this in the emergency garden and donate this food as well. Because I have a lot of peppers frozen and I still have a lot canned. Now, this part of the greenhouse, I'm leaving it here probably until early tomorrow morning because, I get overheated quickly. And I want to wait until it's cooler. But I'm going to cut all of that off and just leave about 3 feet from the bottom of the frame attached to the steel bar that goes across there. Okay, so again, I'm just showing you mustards and turnips. I mean mustard and what I'm trying to say, kale. I just got a lot of it. But people are really going to be excited to get this food. Now I'm showing you one of the potting tables that I got from, I'll insert where I got it from. I can't think right now, but I have 2 of them. They can only hold 75 pounds. And I'm showing you that other cart over there to let you know that that cart is heavier than the potting table, but I had a very difficult time getting that from behind the greenhouse in the back. So it was useful for me to put some trays on. And here I'm showing you that I went ahead and cut my little roses off, and I'm having them to dry naturally in a brown paper bag in the house, and that I'm going to be making jelly. And then I will make some rose water for my natural curly hair when I get some more roses. Okay, but they're doing very well. I'm going to share next week the technique that I use to feed them. And again, I just marvel at the morning glories and this little arrangement by the waterfall every time I see it. I didn't turn it on yet, but it's very soothing and relaxing. And those right there are the mimosa trees. And they grow 36 inches a year. I grew them from seeds, and they'll be going in the ground late fall, early winter, because they did well outside all during the winter. Okay, now we're back in the greenhouse, and I'm going to share with you this technique called stringing. Now, as you move in closer, you can see that these branches are leaning. Okay? But what I did, you see the twine there? I wrapped it around a U or arm in the branches and pulled the string to the top very carefully, gently, so that I wouldn't slice the branch. And then that got the drooping plants branches off the ground, which will prevent you from getting fungus or blight or a lot of insect damage when they're leaning on the ground like that. Plus, the fruit gets so heavy and they need more support. Although I have cages and I have large, tall stakes on them, these tomatoes were started by seed in January in my grow room, and I put them in the ground the 1st of March. So they have been growing for a long time. I don't think most people have tomatoes this size in North Texas, and that's because I got an early start. But again, I'm just showing you how I strung up the tomatoes by attaching the twine to the top bar of the greenhouse frame. Now I'm showing you what I'm getting ready to do to this one. And because I couldn't videotape it, I thought I'll just show you. And then I'll go and do it. And then I'll come back and show you. Okay, guys, it is currently 90 degrees outside. And it's Saturday. And it's 4:05 in the afternoon. And I don't have the inside thermometer with me, but I'm assuming that it's probably over 100 degrees in the greenhouse just by the way I feel. So I'm going to tie up one more tomato plant, and then I'm going to go in and cool off until the sun goes down a little bit because I'm getting real nauseous. So, yeah, I'm really pleased with the progress. I'm going to tie one more tomato up, and then I'll show you. So after a quick little 15-minute break, I'm showing you these branches, how I tied them up. I went back and I started it again, and I went behind the tomatoes this time. What I do, guys, is I document in my journal anything that I can improve or anything that I don't ever want to try again. And I came to the conclusion last summer that this bed is just too wide, and I decreased it by 2 feet because it was buddy all the way up to the end of that wall. So I made 2 feet. You can look in an earlier video. My grandson Brian and I did it. He did a great job, and he helped me with spread the wood chips after I dug up all of that soil and put it in containers and in the compost because that soil was very rich. And so I can walk behind here freely and stake up the tomatoes, string up the tomatoes, harvest the tomatoes. My grandchildren were crawling in between the tomato plants to get behind there to harvest all of the tomatoes. And I mean, we had a lot of them. So now by me being able to walk freely behind here, it's just so much better, guys. It's just so much better. And everything is pulled up, staked up, or caged up, or twined up to the foundation of the frame of the greenhouse. Now, just before I went to Disney World with my sister, my only sister from Indiana, I harvested all of these tomatoes, and some of them were green. And when I got back, that picture that you saw or that you're looking at is just sharing that with you. Now, personally, I like to have my tomatoes when they make fried green tomatoes. I like mine just when they're blushing. To me, they taste sweeter, and that's how I like to have my fried green tomatoes. And I can't wait until I can have more fried green tomatoes in just about another month. And when I got back from vacation, I made a whole lot of pasta sauce, stewed tomatoes, tomato juice, and that type of thing. Okay, so now let's check on the strawberry traps. Actually, the slug traps in the strawberry boxes. Okay, guys, as you can see and hear, it's very windy out here. There's no rain in the forecast until Tuesday night. So, with that in mind, I went ahead and filled up my slug traps. Let me show you first. I put one right here. Guys, I put one slug trap right there where I have found, captured, and relocated, wink wink, several slugs. I put one in this raised garden bed with all of the tomatoes, one on this end, and then one right here in the middle. And then let me go over to Pepper Place and show you that I put one right here because there were slugs right in this area here. And if they get tired of feasting on the straw, if they attempt to go to this bed, then they will get trapped right there. And let me look at this plant carefully. No, that's not a cabbage worm, that's just a piece of leaf. But I'm going to be watching that plant. And also, I put one right here. And I think I showed this one already. Right here. And the wind is very high, and when that happens, we can lose some of our flowers. You see the stem is broke there. So I'll just take it off and bring it in the house and make a pretty cut flower. And then also, I'm going to put a trap over here and over there. Okay. I think I've done enough work for today. Tomorrow, I'm going to cut this off just to the level of this bar and clip it over. Okay. Guys, I had to do a voiceover because it was just too windy and noisy outside. But in my last video, when I showed you guys how to make this slug juice, I failed to tell you to make sure that you either put a hole in the cap or don't leave it on real tight, or you could put a glove or a balloon, because the oxygen will build up with that yeast and it can bulge out the plastic container like this one did. And because I thought I would just have the cap on for a few hours because I was going in the house to take a break. And I ended up staying in the house later than I had anticipated. And so in the future, just put a little hole in the cap. That way you don't have to worry about it, okay? The end. Thank you for watching, everybody. Bye now.